Okay, little creatures, this book is about popcorn. And the reason it's about popcorn is these kids were watching TV and an ad came on that said, "And now a word from our sponsor, Popo Pop Popcorn." And that made them go to their mom and say, "Mom, can we have some popcorn?" They even have 2 cats. Yes, the popcorn's in the refrigerator. Yummy! I wonder why Mom keeps the popcorn in the refrigerator. I don't know. Let's find out. We'll look for the answer. Here it is. Popcorn is best stored in a tight jar in the refrigerator so the kernels keep their moisture. Boy, this is interesting. Interesting to me too. Popcorn is the oldest of the 3 main kinds of corn. There's field corn, which you feed to animals, like cows and pigs. There's sweet corn, which is the kind that we eat. And there is popcorn. Oh, look, he's finding the answer in a book. That's surprising. We would probably use the computer because we're kind of lazy. The computer's at the house. You don't have to go to the library. But regular books. Ooh, it's nice to have something to hold on to. Popcorn was discovered by Indian people in the Americas many thousands of years ago. One of the first things that Columbus, who was an explorer from another country, saw when he came to this part of the world were some Native Americans in San Salvador selling popcorn and wearing it as jewelry. That's pretty interesting. So, while he's finding out about popcorn, the other boy is starting to warm up a pan. We use a popcorn popper, but you can use a pan with a little oil, but put a lid on it, or you're going to be wearing and walking and breathing popcorn. But popcorn is even older than that. In a bat cave in New Mexico, archaeologists found some popcorn that was 5,600 years old. Good grief, don't eat that. Plus it's on the ground. And it's been on the ground 5,600 years. Okay. And 1,000-year-old popcorn kernels were found in Peru, and they were still able to pop them and make them into popcorn. Good grief. That's a lot of energy. Now this kid is putting a little oil into a pan. He's getting ready to make the popcorn. The Indian people of America had many different ways to pop popcorn. One way was to put an ear of corn on a stick and hold it over the fire. Good grief, that must have been. It's raining popcorn. Ah! Hit me in the eye. But many popcorn kernels were lost in the fire with this method. I can imagine. Don't do this at home, especially not in the house. Another way was to throw the kernels right into the fire by the handful. The popcorn popped out all over the place, so there was a lot of bending and running around to pick it up. Well, I don't think that's the best way either yet. Okay, now this child is testing the fire and the heat by throwing in a few kernels of popcorn into the pan. And I guess when they shoot out and hit you in the face and hurt, they'll know it's ready. In 1612, French explorers saw some Iroquois people, another Native American group, popping popcorn in clay pots. Now you're talking. A little more control of the experience. They would fill the pots with hot sand, throw in some popcorn, and stir it with a stick. When the popcorn popped, it came to the top of the sand and was easy to get. I'm not sure I like that way. Sandy popcorn. The Iroquois people were fond of popcorn soup. Oh, that sounds a little mushy, but maybe it's good. The Algonquians, which are another Native American group, came to the first Thanksgiving dinner that was made in the United States, and they even brought some popcorn with them in a deerskin pouch. How interesting. The colonists, the people who lived there, liked it so much that they served popcorn for breakfast with cream poured over it. Ooh, maybe you guys can try that and tell me how it is. I don't want to try it. Today, Americans use 500 million pounds of popcorn every year. 30% of that is eaten in the movies, circuses, ball games, and fairs. 10% is saved for seed and sold to other countries. But 60%, more than half of 500 million pounds of popcorn, is popped right in people's homes on movie night. Man. Oh goody, the popcorn kernels are popping. That means the oil must be ready. That's not the greatest way to check, I don't think. Popcorn everywhere. People in the Midwest buy more popcorn than in any other part of the United States. Milwaukee and Minneapolis are the top popcorn eating cities, followed by Chicago and Seattle. Most of the popcorn is grown in the Midwest also. Little known facts about popcorn. Now I'll put more kernels in the pan and turn the heat up. Don't forget to put the lid on, for heaven's sake. I have a bad feeling about this. Now here's the part I read first. Popcorn is best stored in a tight jar in the refrigerator so the kernels keep their moisture. If the kernels dry out, there will be too many old maids, that means things that don't pop, left at the bottom of the pan. Uh-oh, the person making popcorn just said to themselves, "This doesn't look like enough kernels." You know from your popcorn popper, you do not need a lot of kernels. He doesn't know that yet. He or she, I can't tell. If the popcorn dries out, you can add 1 or 2 tablespoons of water to the jar and shake it until the water gets soaked up by the kernels. While he's reading, the other person's adding more popcorn. Popcorn pops because the heart, the inside of the kernel, is moist and soft and surrounded by this hard shell. When the kernel, the seed part, is heated, the moisture inside turns to steam and starts to expand and wants to get out, and it gets bigger and bigger until the shell bursts to let the popcorn pop. Are you sure that's not too much popcorn in the popcorn pan? Of course I'm sure, said the popcorn popper. The Indian people had a legend, a story, that inside each kernel of popcorn lived a little feisty character, and when his house was heated up, he got so mad that he blew it up. And a lot of people will make up stories when they don't understand why something happens. They try to figure it out, so they make up their own story. There are different kinds of popcorn: white without a shell, yellow without a shell. The smallest type is called strawberry because it has red kernels and the ears look like strawberries. Rainbow has red, white, yellow, and blue kernels and is sometimes called calico. There is black popcorn, but it all pops white when it pops. The biggest kernels are called dynamite and snow puff. Here's some pictures of the different types. White, yellow, strawberry, the rainbow color, and the black. Strange, I wonder why there are so many different colors. After popcorn is popped, most people like to put melted butter and salt on it, but if salt is in the pan, it makes the popcorn tough if you do it while it's heating. That's true for a lot of grains. Now this person's cooking, shake, 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 and he does have a lid on the pot, but if he put too much popcorn in there, I'm not sure he can hold it down. There are many stories about popcorn. One of the funniest and best known comes from the American Midwest. One summer it was so hot and dry that all the popcorn in the fields began to pop. In no time at all, the sky was filled with flying popcorn. Ah! It looked so much like a blizzard, everyone put on mittens and scarves and got out snow shovels. When they got outside, they were surprised to see, number one, wasn't it summer? So maybe they should not have grabbed the gloves and scarves. Or maybe it's just a silly story. Help! I have a blizzard too! I knew you put too much popcorn in that popcorn pan. Okay, if you're so smart, what do we do now? Well, the cats kind of looked in the popcorn. The best thing to do with popcorn when you have too much of it is eat it. And that's the end. And then they have 2 recipes in the back of the book for making popcorn, but I think that's going a little too far. So that's the end of that story. XOXO. See you soon. Night night or bye bye, whichever works.